Yo, how's it going? I was talking with my uncle, and he said something about the new DPF systems and regulations for these diesel trucks. And guys, like, we change all these filters on everything else, and they got these 1 micron filters for the oil for a secondary and everything. And I was like, why don't they route the EGR where it rebirds? Why don't they route that to some type of air filter where it's just like a coffee filter or something? So you just, you know, change that filter just like when you change your oil and stuff like that or whatever. But what if they had what if they literally used just a coffee filter, and then at the fuel pump, everything when you did your pre-trip or your post-trip, whatever, or every time you stop to get fuel, you just change your coffee filter, and that EGR system would blow through the coffee filter before it went back into the system. You know what I mean? So you got like this carbon capture in the coffee filter. I think you just throw the coffee filter in the trash can, because like the carbon and being in the air, that's what they're trying to stop, right? And then like your DPF, you're doing all this stuff to reburn and burn up the diesel particulate. But what if there was some way to catch the carbon and just reuse it instead of burning it all the way up? What if there was a coffee filter in the system? And there was some way that just the old average numbnuts could just change the stupid filter. You know, maybe it'd last a week, maybe it'd last a day, maybe a tank of fuel, whatever. And then you just pull this thing out just like like you clean out the lint from the dryer before you put in another load of clothes. You know what I mean? Well, if you just slide this thing open, pull out your coffee filter-like apparatus, and deposit that somewhere, and then somebody recycle the carbon to make some bricks or something like that, like, you know, maybe make shingles out of it. Seemed like it'd stand up pretty good to the weather. I mean, there's got to be, bricks, shingles, roadways, whatever. Some type of composite trailer. Like they have all these composite plastics and stuff that they make stuff out of. So why are we going through all this effort to burn the carbon up completely before it goes into the air, instead of just catching it like a carbon capture? You know what I mean? There's got to be something super simple. You know what I mean? Like the whole reason that the diesel particulate filter is such a pain in the neck is because they made it so specialized to get in there and do what you got to do to clean it and everything. And then their solution is to make it get, 1,000 degrees hot and burn it up. Well, what if it went through a cooling phase and, a series of 13 coffee filters, and then you slide the thing open, and just like on a dryer, how it's got that long old thing that goes in there. Well, if you pulled that thing out, and you just pulled the sleeve off of it, threw it in the trash, put a new sleeve on there, to stick it back in there, have some type of gauge on the dash when you get up to like 8 psi of additional exhaust or whatever, and then like your EGR system. You see all the time when they're taking these EGRs out, and it's just putting all this crap right back in the motor, and then that's reburning it or whatever like that, but it's making it real inefficient. And then, like, how about some real world studies for catch the soot on the way out, and then if you're going to reburn something, you know what I mean? Because like that coffee filter ain't gonna catch everything, you know what I mean? But like just refilter it You know what I mean? And do some type of thing on the way into the EGR that captures the big stuff or whatever like that. And then do like a direct injection that has a cleaner. You know what I mean? So you do like a propane injection or a water injection or something along those lines to where it's keeping all your valve train clear and clean. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how good all of that would work out or whatever like that, but I think that just there's got to be a way that you can't just sit with a coffee filter. I mean, there has got to be a way. You know what I mean? And if the process of it going through that filter, there's some type of moisture, and then that moisture is getting sucked in there and cleaning them valves. Yeah, that's like a win-win. Hit it with a little bit of propane. You know what I'm saying? That way, we pour the meat to that subbitch to go up the hill. You know what I mean? Like your fuel mileage stay about the same or whatever, and then at a certain parameter, when that truck knows that subbitch going up a hill, when that bubble hits just at a certain spot going up that hill, it shoots that propane to that subbitch, and I mean, get up that hill, it still uses the same amount of fuel, diesel fuel. Yeah, like you'd have your propane apparatus, you know what I mean? You have to air up your propane, you know what I mean? But one of these little old balls of propane, I mean, this is $5. You know what I mean? This is $5. This is a $5 ball of propane. I got 4 of them. But I've used the other ones. And yeah, let's get a little shot of propane in that diesel intake. You know what I mean? Put a little bit of this water in there. Get your coffee filter moist. Let that carbon stick to that, and then we'll capture that carbon, and we'll make something cool out of that carbon, right? So you got carbon. Maybe use it to like some type of fiber, perhaps, to make a lighter deal, and then capture the carbon with a coffee filter, and then grind up the coffee filter and the carbon together, and then like use it as a resiny fiberglass type situation to make the freaking next truck. You know what I mean? These drivers out here, they'll do a lot for like some pennies, right? If they think they're getting points, like they'll shop at the places where they pay it twice as much for fuel and everything else like that. So what if you get like carbon points for turning in your coffee filter, and then the next Peterbilt comes out with the carbon fiber Pete? You know what I'm saying? It just come full circle with this deal and do some innovation. You know what I mean? So somebody get a hold of the EPA on this deal. Somebody call fucking Cummins. Somebody get Peter himself on the line. Call PACCAR, Ken, and Pete. Get them. Let's make this happen. Get the somebody show this to Elon Musk and stuff like that or whatever like that. I got about 25,000 real practical ideas. Like, dude, it can't even be hard. It can't even be hard. Like, if the filter is far enough back on the exhaust that it got cold, right? So I stepped back there right by that exhaust pipe to take a piss when I put fuel in it, right before the back tires. There's a little gap right there. Generally, while I'm pumping gas, I stand there and take a piss. Okay? If the truck was turned off, now I've pissed on that pipe by accident a couple times. It does have a little bit of a sizzle to it, right? So it might be a little bit hot. So we'd have to work on that a little bit. But if we pull that filter out of that subbitch, it's like it's some type of apparatus. I got my glove on. I slide this thing out. I walk over by the trash can, shake it off in there, put my fresh little sleeve on there, put my new coffee filter in it, walk back there, stick that subbitch back in the hole. Somehow I make 50 cents for doing it. Some type of bonus, whatever. You know what I mean? Dude, talking bad, like, seriously. What the hell? Like, everybody would do that. Everybody would do that. You know what I mean? And then, like, they're, cut the use of the DEF fluid, cut it down drastically, right? Because, like, if it's blowing back, cooling, and then circling whatever's left up here to the so coming down out of the engine, going all the way to the back, filter apparatus down here by the back tires where everybody takes a piss, and then the exhaust turn to go all the way back around, come into the existing DPF at that point, you know what I mean, and proceed on to the EGR type of deal as well, you know what I mean. Well, we filtered shit out while it was cold, then we sent it on its way. It's probably cooled off some more, whatever gaseous stuff can actually circulate through the EGR and do its thing, and then it's going to take a lot longer for that particulate to build up in the diesel particulate filter. So if that's taking longer, then we're going to cut down the usage on our diesel exhaust fluid. Okay, so that's less amount of times that this thing's going to cycle. So, if it cuts the cycle in half, it should extend the longevity by double, and then it should lower the actual emissions of the vehicle, and we should have a secondary trash can that's literally getting the resource to build the body of the next vehicle. And the that's a big circle. And then add this propane injection. Like, we want propane injected 15-liter diesel motors for going up the hill. Every driver wants that. Propane injection. Coffee filters instead of, replacing the DPF every freaking time you turn around. I mean, dude, why am I spending $300 a month on diesel exhaust fluid and $7,000 on a system to just fix what's there? It's probably adding $20,000 to the vehicle or whatever. And this system I'm talking about, you're still going to have that same $20,000, maybe another $5,000, but literally double the length of time that the engine's viable. And another thing to the manufacturers, like, why is there not the secondary oil filter standard across the board? Why is that not standard across? Of all the semi trucks made, the first one that comes out that has the secondary filtered down to 1 micron. So, we're getting 40,000 miles out of this oil. And the blow-by, and this EGR's coughing this stuff back in there. And it's getting the soot in there that's wearing out the bearings and stuff. If we're filtering that out with one of these bypass systems, which is, I mean, they're available. Check out Blue Ribbon Trucking. They talk about that stuff all the time. Okay, so if we're filtering that stuff out or whatever like that, and they're running these trucks, they're changing out the filters and stuff and just topping it off with new oil. They're not changing the oil. They're just topping it off because you don't have to change it. They're filtering out all the particulate. So whoever does that, now you're not having to buy that oil. So you do that, and then you increase your longevity of the DEF system. You lower your overall emissions, and then you capture what you need to build the hood of the next truck. And you can like prorate that, whatever that is, and sell that as a a feel good to the driver. You know what I mean? Like, hey, the average driver drives X amount, going to use this much, going to change this filter every day, and it takes umpteen filters to make this new truck. And then you show a picture of the truck, and it's like, you can do this, and we're going to give you a nickel for every filter or whatever. You know what I mean? Make it like a game. And then now, like, yeah, that's all viable. That's all doable. And that makes a lot of sense. So if you got these guys that are capturing that stuff, you know what I mean? And then, like, there's something, where, maybe you're watering these filters down a little bit with, like, actual just water, right? Just water. So if it don't matter if you spill it or whatever. I'm going to tell you something right now. When I get DEF fluid and when I get diesel fuel, I see spills everywhere all the time. And that shit runs straight off into the gutter. All right? So, diesel fuel can't be good for the environment as far as like in the gutter. And the gutter type stuff's getting into the water treatment facilities and blah, blah. Hand me down cancer drinking a freaking Pepsi, right? What is the DEF doing? What's it doing to, what is the fluid doing when you spill that stuff into the environment, onto your leg, breathing it, breathing the fumes of it while it's reaching? You got these barn burners that don't even have the stack up top. The stack's down here low. And they're sitting here. There's a guy on this side of me. I'm in a truck right now. There's a guy right over there. You know what I mean? There's 8 to 90 trucks within breathing distance of where I'm at right now. Everybody's island. It's 22 degrees outside. You know what I mean? What if we changed our coffee filter? You know what I'm saying? And it was a little bit moist with water, and then I just pumped half as much DEF. And then the truck ran twice as clean. Because it's just probably more than, it probably do more than half. Like, if all the exhaust passed through a coffee filter, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you might have to change this so much twice a day. You know what I mean? But even doing that, like, if it saved me $30, come on, man. Like, these guys are coming out here, they're paying all this money and stuff like that, and going to the same place so they can get a shower, and they get points so they get a free pizza. You know what I mean? Like, I went in there, I got a shower and a pizza. Didn't cost me a dime, right? If I get 2 slices of pizza, it's $8. If I get a whole pizza, it's $15.50. If I buy nothing but Pilot Fly J around the country, they basically pay me $200 a month to only buy fuel here. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he's going to give me another pizza once a month for some used coffee filters, and it took me less than a minute to change this filter every time I'm getting fuel, dude, I would totally do that. That's like a free pizza. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, in the back of my head, I'm like, you know what? I did right by my grandkids. You know, I helped stop all this DEF fluid getting into the groundwater and burning up into the environment. I remember when they said hairspray caused a hole in the ozone layer. What the hell is all this DEF fluid burning doing for us? You know what I'm saying? I think the soot was better. I think rolling coal was better than burning diesel exhaust fluid. Maybe not. Maybe that's a stretch. Maybe that's a stretch. Either way, catching. You know what I mean? You know, if you was going to make a carbon fiber hood, and you do that, like, you could make the coffee filter out of the right type of fiber for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this is all off the cuff. This was just like me talking to my uncle, and I'm just like, hey, like, we gotta put this soot back in the motor. It's fucking retarded. Like, why is there not a filter in the EGR system? And then I was thinking about the other stuff, you know what I mean? And I ain't gonna say it all again, because hell, I just said it all. But Dude, like, get this to an engineer. Somebody send this to Trump. You know what I mean? My name, Skip DeGraff. You know what I mean? You can get a hold of me on here, or Skip's mail 9663 at gmail.com. Shoot me an email. I might see it, as long, if it ain't spam, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. And, you know, the reason why I'm saying all this, instead of like trying to actually do it myself, I'm not going to do this. Okay? And, you know, people say it all the time. They say, oh, well, good ideas. I got a million good ideas, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, look, I do have good ideas, like a lot of them. And, like, I really will give you the ideas for the betterment of mankind. You know, ask not what you can do for what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. You know, the Lord gives to me freely, so I give freely. You know what I'm saying? Like, I write these songs and stuff about Jesus, everything like that. I give them songs away. This lady said, somebody's going to steal your song. I said, ma'am, you can't steal something that somebody's giving away for free. All right? So, like, you know, if you don't care who gets the credit, you can do anything. I really believe that. And if you want to take credit for this or whatever like that, put this in your own words. Present this to the freaking EPA, to Elon Musk, you know, DJT, you know, whoever, you know, whoever to do, what was that? Oh, Booty Gig. Booty Gig was the transport guy. I don't know who got Booty Gig's job, but yeah, the new DOT people, the people at Cummins, people at Detroit, the people at Freightliner and Mack and Volvo, and I mean, like, dude, this is a big deal. Like, whoever comes up with this, if you're the guy making the coffee filters, I mean, dude, like, you're fixed to be just stinking rich. You know what I'm saying? And you might be able to develop this and patent this shit and get like some freaking royalties. You know what I mean? You'll be getting a fucking nickel every time I change this coffee filter in this freaking Peterbilt. You know what I'm saying? So fucking get on it. Get on it. You know what I mean? And then, like, it helped the little guy too. You know what I'm saying? With a guy like me sitting there considering buying a truck, blah blah blah. Because I'm like, well, it's got 500,000 miles on it, and at 750, it's going to take a shit one way or another. Transmission, rear end, engine, DEF system. You know what I mean? Well, if I'm just thinking, you know, well, it's got the new style that doesn't ruin it. The EGR's got clean air going through it, you know. Yeah, it's got some fumes, but it ain't got any actual particulate. You know what I mean? It's got a little water injection on the filter, and it's got a little propane injection to make it up the hill. Did I mention that we can inject these motors with propane and propane-related injection to clean the valve system directly after the EGR? A little in the old propane. Did I mention propane? Propane injected 15-liter Detroit series get her done. You know what I'm saying? Dude. There's, man, I'm telling you, like, how much does that save the environment if you drop freaking, you know, 75 cents worth of propane while you're going up the hill? You know what I mean? You're going up the hill. Dude, some of these trucks are running 30 miles an hour for 8 minutes. And that propane would have that truck going 60 miles an hour for 4 minutes to make it up this hill. You see what I'm saying? Now, there's going to be some extra wear and tear, you would think. However, I think it's more wear and tear to put this thing in a bind and run this motor up to freaking 1,700 RPM and just hold this thing. When you could be busting 1,400 and running up this thing in 4 minutes. If you're getting a little the propane, I believe it'll do it. And if you're getting a little hint of moist air from the water being injected on your coffee filter, just catching particulate. Yeah, there you go. You know what I mean? And you can do the same thing. Instead of at the EGR, you could do it at the air filter. You know, you could clean the air filter with a little of propane and have some other propane related accessories. Did I mention the propane? I would like new parameters to where it says, yeah, I got a 4 1/4 cat with 1,957 foot-pounds of torque and an 800 foot-pound torque propane injection system with coffee filters. And this motor lasts, you know. And then now, here I am, I'm looking at this truck and I'm like, well, some of this stuff's been sorted out from day one. You know, how about some mandatory APU systems? You know what I mean? So I'm not idling the damn truck. Why is that not mandatory? Why is any truck being built that has a fucking sleeper that does not have an APU? Why does any new truck not have an APU? Why does an APU have a secondary oil system and filter that nobody changes? You see what I'm saying? It should be standard. There should be a standard in the industry. I'm telling you right now, standard. You know what I mean? And hell, why do we not have a moped that just like fits in the side box? You know what I mean? Like, you got all these little extender things and stuff. Like, put a freaking moped in there. You know what I mean? Why am I driving a 15-liter Cummins powered Kenworth T680 to motherfucking Walmart to buy a loaf of bread? What the fuck, over? Like, seriously. I don't know why I've got so stop getting so violent. Calm down, Skip. Calm down. Calm down. You're going to scare Donald. Easy, Donald. Easy. Calm down. Calm down. There. Sorry. I'm a little riled up. My electric got turned off today because my auto pay didn't go through. So my wife was getting ready for the shower, or getting ready for work in the shower, when all the electric went off in the whole property. So that was nice. Shout out to CoServe. Appreciate that one. Thank you. So yeah, if there was an APU in here, that'd be cool. Like, if all the trucks had APUs, that would be cool. And let's change this. What the hell's going on with this 80,000 pounds? You know what I'm saying? Like, bump it up to 90. You know what I'm saying? Like, what road can handle 80,000 pounds that if the truck was 90, it could not handle it? Freaking none of them. All of them. These guys are driving illegal and everything else like that all the time, running at 90,000 all the time, as it is. So build the equipment to handle 90,000. That way we can freaking fill the trailer up. You know how many times I get one of these? You know how many times I drive with the trailer full? Never, not one time. Front to back, top to bottom. What, like freaking diapers? You know what I mean? Like, maybe. You know what I mean? Go to any place that's got food and fill that truck up front to back and have a reefer trailer and tell me you don't weigh 90,000 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Let's build the equipment to do today's job. You know what I'm saying? Let's raise the regulations to 90,000. Let's make a mandatory APU. Let's put a coffee filter in this thing. Let's do some propane injection. You know what I mean? So we make it up the hill. You know what I mean? And just for the record, make the propane injection computer controlled. We're like, if it ain't squared away, it don't use it at all. And if you ain't pulling a hill, you know what I mean? Going up the hill, it don't use it. It's pretty easy. It's pretty simple. You know what I mean? And like, you know, freaking change your coffee filter out. Dude, and put a coffee pot in here. Why is there a truck in 2025? My uncle told me, he said, if you get everything you asked for, you didn't ask for enough. Freaking put a coffee pot in this stupid truck, dude. For real. For real. Like, why do we not have a space in the truck somewhere that is designed to hold a freaking water jug? You know what I mean? Like, they got them water coolers in the office and stuff like that or whatever. I do not know a single driver that would not walk in there, grab a 3-gallon bottle of water from the truck stop for $5, walk out here and put it in the cabinet, and then have a little thingy so he could freaking, you know, get him some water. You know what I mean? And if that water thingy have to be a little Keurig cup thingy or whatever else like that, where you can just, you wake up, you push the button, go do your pre-trip, come back, and there's a freaking cup of coffee and the whole truck smells like coffee. Are you serious right now? And you built a truck like that, and the moped was about a 250 Enduro. I think that everybody would buy your truck, Peterbilt. Who wouldn't? Who would? And you price that son of a bitch the same price as the rest of them. You make that frame and everything else, build it to 90,000 pound spec. Yes, and we will petition the government for 90,000 pounds. Yeah, and then anything from whatever date you put the truck on the road, like 2027. In every truck made in 2027 has to be, equipped to move 90,000 pounds, right? So the truck takes on all the extra weight, so we can still use the old trailers. See what I'm saying? So now you can do 34,000 on the tandems and 44,000 on the drives. Dude. Now you're in business. It's got an APU. It's got a freaking moped with a 250 Enduro style. You know what I'm saying? I mean, got a coffee pot, water, change a coffee filter. That way the DPF system works. Propane related accessories. Propane injection. Get her dad son. Yeah. Do this. Oh man. Somebody get this to Trump. You know what I mean? Trump, if you're watching this, like, I'm not usually this much of a jackass. I know you're a busy man. I appreciate you taking the time out and everything. That's this is Skip Opotamus, your roving reporter. We're out here getting it done, and there's probably 750 similar or better innovations. So I Skip at Skip's Mail 9663 at gmail.com, and there you go. All right, Raquel, go get him. Read your Bible.